Hello, and welcome to the Art of Online Marketing live show. My name is Denise Allison. I'm the CEO and founder of Strategro, and I help you grow your business with social media and live video. So today we are talking about live video, Marie Kondo, and how you can create an engaging live video experience for your audience, even if you think that your area of expertise is boring. So, for those of you who don't know me, again, my name's Denise Allison, and I recently started watching Marie Kondo, Tidying Up with Marie Kondo. And so let me know in the comments if you have watched it. Let me know with a yes if you have watched it. Let me know with a no if you haven't watched it. And generally, let me know if you have heard of this show, because I think that a lot of you probably have. So anyway, I started watching this show that was this worldwide phenomenon, and it keeps popping up in my Netflix. I'm like, okay, what is the deal with the show? Why is everyone going nuts about it? So I was thinking, good for you, Marie. You become a worldwide phenomenon by talking about something that pretty much everybody hates. And I know that you don't like tidying up because I don't like tidying up, and you are my people. So literally, she's talking about tidying up your house, not the type of thing that you think would sell, all kinds of books and ads and everything else that goes along with it. So, like, this reminded me of the one question that I often get when I'm speaking at an event, I'm speaking with entrepreneurs. And that is that every time I do that, somebody pipes in with a comment like, oh, okay, video sounds great for everyone else, but how can I apply this to my business? My business is boring. I'm a lawyer, I'm an accountant, I'm an insurance broker, I'm a copywriter. Like, they just don't see the entertainment value in what they are doing. So they're claiming that their industry is boring, but is tidying up any more exciting than your industry or your area of expertise? I really don't think so. So what I want to do is dissect the show and see what lessons we can learn from Marie Kondo that you can apply to your own live videos to make them engaging, entertaining, and educational. So if Marie Kondo can spark joy in the world through tidying up, you can spark joy in the world through whatever it is that you do. So I want you to stick around till the end, because I have a super exciting announcement to make, and I want you to hear all about that. All right. So, like I mentioned, the issue is this. A lot of entrepreneurs hold back from going live. And there's plenty of reasons for that, and we're not going to get into all of them today. But the one that I do want to focus on today is the fact that they think they are boring, or that they have nothing valuable or exciting to say. So in a world where like Facebook and Instagram and all social media are littered with cat videos, epic fails of people slipping on ice, and other videos that are created for pure entertainment value, it can feel really intimidating trying to get noticed on video, like a constant uphill battle. But no matter what industry you're in, you have valuable information to share with your future customers. So they want to hear it, and they need to hear it. So even if you are in a boring industry, there is value there, and there are ways that you can share it that's going to be interesting for the people who want that. If it's not, it won't always be interesting to everyone, because it's not meant for everyone, but it needs to be interesting to the people you're trying to attract. So if Marie Kondo can get famous by talking about organizing and tidying up your house and become a Netflix sensation, you can create engaging live videos. So the number one thing that I noticed that she does is she creates a narrative around her expertise. So tidying up with Marie Kondo was obviously created for TV. All right, let me hide that. It was created for TV. And the producers know that if all they do is share Marie Kondo sharing how to fold your shirt with no story behind it, and how to keep your house tidy, no one is going to watch that. So what they do is they follow the rule that every successful TV show needs to follow, and this is the rule of storytelling. So every episode starts with a family. There's some tension, some stress. They are overwhelmed by all of the clutter in their house. Marie comes in and she teaches her KonMari method, and they struggle. It's an uphill battle, and eventually they overcome it, and they have a happy ending with a tidy house. All right, so when you are creating live videos, you really want to think about how you can weave story into what you are sharing. So it's always better to have an example, a case study, or even if it's not real, telling a story around what you are teaching. So if all you do is share your expertise, it can get pretty dull because it's hard for people to grasp. So the more you can give examples and tell a story about it, it's always better than sharing the theoretical, which loses people really quickly. So think about what stories you can tell that will help you highlight and demonstrate your expertise effectively. So it might be a client that you help, it might be someone that you know that had an issue, or anything else. So think about what stories you can weave into that so that you are telling a story and not just sharing theoretical information with your audience, because that loses people really quickly. Got it? Okay, moving on to number two that I definitely notice, and that is she owns her personality. She is Marie Kondo. And up until probably a month ago, most people in this world had no idea who that was. But now it's like a household name. Everyone knows who it is. Everyone has watched her show. Everyone has Googled her. And now every every region of the world now has like Nova Scotia's own Marie Kondo. Like it's really this huge thing. But she's always been Marie Kondo, but she hasn't always been, Marie Kondo with this is a big deal. So Marie comes in and she's a little Japanese woman, and she wears skirts and cardigans, and part of the magic of all of the show is the families love her. They know all about her, and they've watched all her YouTube episodes, and they've read her book, and somehow they know anything about her. But she isn't any plain old boring person. The show is created around her and her personality. So it's not just called Tidying Up, it's called Tidying Up with Marie Kondo. So she's turning herself into a big deal. She is a TV personality, and this is what makes her Marie Kondo. She is obsessed with things that spark. So she says, grab this shirt, and if it doesn't give you the then you say thank you and you toss it in the bin, and it gets donated or wherever they send it. So she is obsessed with things that spark joy. She always greets the house, which possibly is a cultural thing, but for us in North America, it's probably not something that we have ever seen anyone do before. So she didn't say, "Oh no, I'm not going to do this because this show is for a North American audience." She said, "This is what I do. This is how I always do it. This is what's going to be in the show. I'm going to greet every single house." And it's always a moment of a lot of emotion. People start crying. "Oh my God, I can't believe I've never greeted my house." And it just creates a big deal. And that is unique to her. She thanks all the items that are getting tossed. And she says, if this isn't sparking joy, it's time to toss it. But you need to say thank you. Thank you for all that you've given me. And then put it in the bin, and it goes away. And generally, she's just a cute little lady, and that is part of her personality and persona. So the thing is, when it comes to video marketing, there's so many people who want to make it perfect, and they want to make it professional. But somehow, in making it professional, They are cleaning out and washing away all their personality. So they sit here and they do video and they want to have impeccable English grammar. They want to enunciate everything clearly. They don't want any clutch words like or so, and you need to stand really straight. Okay, so live video is not a Toastmasters speech. Live video is a way for you to connect with your audience. So you need to be you. You don't need to be the president, and you don't need to be a diplomat, and don't need to be all those other people whose job is to be a neutral, boring person that you can project whatever you want to on it. You need to be you, and your personality is one of the major reasons that people are drawn to you. They are drawn to people that they can relate to, and it helps them connect to you and grows that know, like, and trust factor that is really, really vital to building successful business relationships. So it helps you stand out from everyone else, putting content out there just by being you. Even if everything you say is the same, putting your own spin, putting your own face and personality on it is what makes it yours. So by being perfect, professional, boring person, you really don't stand out. You get lost, and at the end of the day, you're not appealing to anybody. All right. So, I mean, I've seen lots of videos like that. Let me know in the comments if you have ever put a one if you've ever created a video like that. Put a two if you have seen a video like that. So let me know that in the comments. One for if you've ever created a video like that. I definitely have. Don't be embarrassed. I think that's probably how we all start out. We think that the video is supposed to be perfect, and then it becomes boring. But I think that too, we've definitely seen them as well. So you don't need to mention any names. We don't want to point fingers at anyone, but yeah, those videos definitely exist in swarms out there. All right, and number three that I'd like to talk about is she doesn't assume that people already know this. So, is Marie Kondo the first person to share tips for tidying up your house? No, she is not. I remember watching a show on TLC, and it's called Clean Sweep. They go into your house, you throw all your junk on the front lawn, and you have a tarp that's for giveaway. You have a tarp that's for put back in your house and tidy up, and you have a tarp for we're going to sell this at a big yard sale at the end of the show. So that has already existed, but it wasn't as much of a big deal. Marie Kondo is probably the first person to become famous for tidying. Okay, so Marie could have assumed that we all know how to fold clothes, which apparently would have been a huge mistake because I'm not folding my clothes like that. And everyone in the show is like, oh, I used to just fold my clothes like this, right? So often, like, because we live every single day in our area of expertise and we're working at it all the time, it's really easy to fall into the trap of thinking, oh, everyone knows that. That's simple. That's the easy thing. I really don't think I need to explain that. People know. People know how to people know how their taxes work, or people know how to pay their HST, or people know what they can claim or what they can't claim, or what a deductible is. On and on and on. There are plenty of things, but at the end of the day, people don't always quite understand what they are. So when you find yourself thinking something that, oh, people already know how to do that or what that is, I want you to ask yourself if you know how to fold a fitted sheet. And it will remind you that even though it seems really simple to you, it doesn't mean that it's really simple and straightforward to your audience. So even though it's simple to you, it's not simple to everyone else. And most of the time, you're gonna want to start explaining things from ground zero. So when you share content on live videos, don't be afraid to start at the beginning, at the most basic level, and assume that we know nothing about what it is you're talking about, because there's always going to be somebody who knows nothing. Now, where you ultimately decide to be on this range it's really going to depend on what you actually specialize in and who you're trying to attract. But don't go like, if this is the range, don't go way up here and be like, oh, and explain this really complicated thing, because you are going to probably lose everybody except for people who are in your industry. And those aren't the people that you are trying to attract, obviously, because they've got it covered. You're trying to attract people who don't know and they need your help. So take stock of where your audience is, who you're trying to attract, and meet them where they are, because chances are they know very little or nothing, and it's going to be somewhere at the beginning. All right, so those are the three things. She creates a narrative around her expertise. She owns her personality, and she doesn't assume that people already know the things that she's an expert in. There are a few other tips that we can learn from the show, and probably could go on about Marie Kondo for a long time, but I just want to mention them a little bit briefly. So, number one is for entrepreneurs, creating a method can go a really long way. So at the beginning of every episode, Marie comes on and she says, this is the KonMari method, and it includes clothing, kitchen and bathroom, miscellaneous, sentimental, there's something else. But she explains that every single show, and that becomes a thing of its own to her method, and she's outlined it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So if possible, that can really serve you in saying, this is my method, and we go through it this step, next step, next step, and next step. It really gives it more legitimacy, and systems and processes are always good. So just put your name on it. It doesn't need to be fancy. You know, KonMari, that's not the most earth-shattering thing, but do give it a name. The next is just start. So this is from the side of the families who are in it. So they have this house, it's all overwhelming and unorganized and cluttered, and they have 25 closets full of clothes that they don't wear. And often it becomes worse before it gets better, because they dump everything on the bed and they go through it. But at the end, they have a tidy house. So what everyone always says in the show is, oh, yeah, I mean, right now I'm a little bit overwhelmed, but I can see the light at the end of the tunnel. I have a method and I know how to get there. So it's just a matter of getting through it. Whereas before it was just overwhelmed and no end in sight. So don't be afraid to get started. You are never going to get it done if you don't just start. And the same thing goes for live video. It can feel a little bit overwhelming in the beginning, but if you don't start, you can never get to where you are going, and you can never overcome that overwhelming beginning of all the theoretical clothes all over the bed. All right. And the other thing is, she could have, well, she couldn't have, because this never would have worked. But her thing is, she wants to spark joy in the world through tidying up. Instead of saying, I want people to have clean houses, there's nothing sexy or appealing in that. But in the spark joy in the world through tidying up, it gives it a little bit more of a like sparkly, shiny factor that makes it more interesting than saying, I want people to have clean houses. So think about how you can really position what you are doing and what your ultimate goal is. All right, so those are the few extra tips. All right, so now the news. Well, like, you know, news from me, not news from the world, but the registration for the Video Marketing Summit for Entrepreneurs is now open. So this is an online event, and I'll be joined by 13 of the world's top video marketing experts, and we share our expert strategies, tips, and tricks over this 3-day event. And so we show you how to add rocket fuel to your video marketing effort. So you can learn the latest trends. You can learn tips that you can implement right now, even if you aren't very tech savvy, and you'll be entertained the entire time because I'm your host. So the event takes place on February 19th through 21st, but the registration is open now. So I'll be putting the link in the comments below so you can head over there and sign up. All right, thank you so much for being with me here today, and I look forward to seeing you again next week for another episode of the Art of Online Marketing live show.